Welcome students. So in the previous class we had discussed about the legal aspects regarding to open up a retail or a wholesale drugstore, the various requirements of the license and on what application forms we have to fill to open up the to obtain the license for drugs under Schedule C, C1, Schedule X. So I hope you had revised them and learned them wisely. And in today's class we shall be discussing about the purchasing procedure. What is purchasing, its objectives and methods of purchasing. So now let us start. What is purchasing? It is an important function of material management. So the main material required for a retail pharmacy store is the pharmacy product. The pharmacy product. A proper purchase of materials and merchandise and control of stock are of great importance in any business, that may be manufacturing or a wholesale or a retail trade. So in trading business, merchandise purchased must be of proper quality at an appropriate price in proper quantities and at a proper time. So what are the requirements? Number 1, quality, then price, then quantity, and at last time. Quality, then price, then quantity, and then in required time. They should be supplied to the purchaser. Now what are the objectives of purchasing? Now what are the objectives? There are 7 R's of purchase management. This is a topic from management, pharmaceutical management. Now what are the objectives of purchasing? The 7 R's you have to remember, 7 R's. Right quality, right quantity, right source, right price, right place, right time and right mode of transport. Now what is the right quality? First of all, we have to select a particular quality required. Quality required. So as per standards. Then the quantity. The quantity should not be over and the quantity should not be under the requirement, because in such cases the inventory carrying cost or the shortage of supply may lead to excessive losses. So in order to prevent that, the quantity selected should be as per the requirement only. Next, the right source. Now the vendor should be selected. Now these are the vendors. How a vendor to be selected? A vendor of good reputation, having a previous record of supplying a good quality product should be selected. Then the right price. Price should not be too high or it should not be too low, because a too low price can be considered to be related with the low or substandard quality product, and a too high price may lead to loss in the business. Then right place, at right place of delivery. It is the right place of delivery where the products are to be delivered. Then right time, at what time, and the last is the right mode of transport, how the material should be transported. The mode of transport used should be cheap and safe. So no extra cost should be added, and moreover it must be safe, so that no harm is to be done to the products that are being purchased. Now how the purchasing procedure works? Number 1, a purchase requisition. It is a request form that is usually filled by the concerned department to the owner of the company or the purchase department. That depends upon what kind of requirements are there in the store. Then the selection of suppliers. So list of qualified vendors is obtained, and from them the suitable ones are selected. Then is placing the order. It is an official confirmation. It's official confirmation on which the order is placed. Then receiving and checking of material. It is physical inspection. This is the physical inspection of material that is purchased. Checking of invoice or bill. Now, what is this? This is the checking of invoice or bill is, it is the responsibility of accounts department to verify the financial records. Then releasing the payment of supplier. Now, this can be as per deal considered. Now, on what parameter the deals were considered, the payment should be made on that. Then the recording of the bills, records to be kept for any future verification. And the last is the releasing the payment to the supplier. Now, after these all checkups, the payment is released. So, these are basically the steps that are involved in a purchasing procedure. See, these are the steps. Let us revise them again. Number 1 is the purchase requisition. The first of all, we will have to purchase a order depending upon our requirements. Now, next, the selection of the supplier. So, a particular vendor is to be selected as per his or her track record. Now, next is placing the order. The official confirmation or official order for the requirement is placed to that particular vendor. Next is receiving the checking of material. After the order is received back, we have to physically inspect each and every item that we ordered, so that there should not be any kind of mismatch or any substandard quality product is received. Now, next is checking of invoice or bill. Accounts department plays a crucial role, because checking of the invoice or bill should be essential to remove any kind of pilferage. The next is releasing the payments to the supplier. It is generally the selection of mode, payment method we can say. After the recording of bills, now it is an one-day procedure. After the recording of the bills, ultimately the payments are released. So, what are the various methods of purchasing? Now, how the methods of purchasing work? Now, there are basically 4 methods of purchasing. We will discuss them one by one. Number 1, by inspection. So, we can inspect the goods physically, so that there should not be any kind of discrepancy, we can say. Now, by inspection, this is the oldest method of purchasing. Goods are thoroughly examined with regard to their quality and price structure, and this method is still used in wholesale and retail. Physical inspection is always the best suitable and best, we can say it is the faithful method of purchasing. Next is by sample. This is very common nowadays. The next one, the sample of good is supplied to the by the supplier to the purchaser, and approval from the buyer is waited. The buyer examines the sample and places the order for the supply of goods as per the quality of the sample approved. Now, here all the things that are supplied depend solely upon the quality of the sample approved. Now, in case there is a change in the quality of the sample provided and the final products received, this is considered as an act of dishonesty, and the faith is broken between the vendor and the buyer. So, such kind of incidents do happen, which should be avoided. Now, the third one is by description. It refers to purchases of goods made on the basis of description of goods in the catalog or price list of the supplier. Now, such kind of method of purchasing is only applicable if the vendor is having a very high standards of quality production. and having a very good, or we can say a goodwill in the market of that particular vendor is quite high. So we can also ask for the goods just by seeing the description. The last one is by grade. The goods which are standardized and graded are purchased in required quantity simply by mentioning their grades, such as ISI mark, IP, BP, USP, because such grades are having their own quality control standards, which not only ensure the good quality but also ensures that all the goods made by that particular mark or grade are of same quality. So we can also ask, or we can also purchase the goods from the vendors by grade method also. Now the next one is how the selection of supplier is done. So students, this topic we shall be covering in our next class, the selection of suppliers. Till then you should revise about what are the purchasing procedures, or what is purchasing, and what are the methods of purchasing. So students, till then revise and learn the concepts.